Hello and welcome to the Webcast for Tuesday, July 8th. I'm South Ops meteorologist Jonathan O'Brien. The marine layer remains very deep across central California this morning, though is becoming shallower across the south coast. There are also a few monsoonal mid and high clouds trying to push into southern California, but with limited success. Overall, sunny skies will dominate once again today, but the main exception will be across the central coast, where the marine clouds will clear slowly and may not clear at all from some of the beaches. Water vapor satellite shows that we remain in between cut-off low pressure off the California coast and building high pressure over the desert southwest. Compared to yesterday, the high has become stronger and has pushed the low further off to the north, and that largely explains the shallower marine influence across the south coast but continued deep marine layer for the central coast. It also puts us on the very outer fringe of monsoonal moisture associated with that high pressure, but the outer fringe is as close as we are going to get. With that building high, we will warm up today, especially across Southern California, but the offshore low will still provide a strong moderating influence for the coastal areas. Here's a look at the forecast highs. In the days ahead, that high-pressure area will continue to build westward over California. Meanwhile, the cutoff low will find its way back into the main jet stream and ultimately pass well off to our north and east in the next couple of days. As it does so, it's going to erode the northern edge of the ridge, moderating our temperatures somewhat, but also preventing any moisture from getting into the region. And from there, that area of high pressure, while not excessively strong, is more or less just going to hold in place over us and control our weather likely well into next week. As the high peaks in strength, we do still have warming in the forecast, so nothing too crazy. Here's a look at the forecast highs by the time we get to Thursday. Highs will reach the 80s to low 90s across the lower mountains, mid-90s to 105 in the valleys, 100 to 110 in the high desert, and 108 to 118 in the low desert. From Friday through the weekend, as onshore flow increases, there will be several degrees of cooling, mainly for coastal and coastal valley areas and the low desert. However, the Central Valley will warm up a few more degrees, and most other interior areas will see little change, with temperatures remaining near to above normal well into next week. These are Sunday's forecast highs, definitely solid summertime warmth and a little above average, but far below any records. With the lack of monsoon moisture, it's going to become very dry across the region in the days ahead, especially across the interior. Minimum humidity will be mainly in the single digits and teens above and inland from the marine layer influence through the weekend, with that marine layer becoming much shallower the next couple of days before rebounding a little late this week. There will also be sizable areas of fair to poor recoveries above the marine layer, with long burn windows expected. So it's really the interior areas that we're most focused on the next several days, which is pretty normal for this time of year. Winds will primarily follow typical local and diurnal trends over the next several days. There will be occasional breeziness in the typical wind-prone mountain and desert areas during the afternoons and evenings, and there will also likely be some weak sundowner winds over Santa Barbara County the next few evenings, though those don't look like too big of a deal. Heading further into next week, temperatures are likely to remain near to above normal as high pressure remains dominant. The strength and position of the high pressure will determine whether or not we get any monsoonal moisture into the region. As it stands now, there is high confidence in no shower or thunderstorm activity through early next week. There is at least a slight chance of monsoonal moisture making an appearance by mid or late next week, but signals on that remain mixed, and the potential for any major surges of monsoon moisture look pretty limited at the moment. The hot weather this week will bring notable drops in both the live and heavier dead fuel moistures, especially across the interior. Take a look at the 1,000-hour dead fuel moisture graph for the South Ops area as a whole. We're already well below normal, and this is pushing us into some pretty extreme territory by early next week. Significant fire potential may begin to extend higher in elevation and into heavier fuel types as this drying occurs. Though seasonably elevated live fuel moistures and green up do continue to be a mitigating factor, especially above 5,000 feet, and the marine layer continues to provide good protection to coastal areas. So overall, while largely lacking in extreme heat, the upcoming pattern will yield substantial fire potential concerns for the region. Persistent hot temperatures and dry conditions will promote very receptive fine fuels with high probabilities of ignition, yielding daily moderate to heavy initial attack. Terrain-aligned fires will tend to burn aggressively in the afternoon hours, and fair-to-poor overnight recoveries will yield long burn windows with potential for active burning into the overnights. While widespread strong winds are not expected this week, there will still be some diurnal breeziness, and as was seen on the Madre fire, even a modest wind in alignment with terrain can enhance the potential for rapid rates of spread on dry fuels. An elevated probability for large fire will continue for the foreseeable future, will likely remain right around the top end of that elevated category for the next several days. That's it for today's webcast. Thanks for joining us. The next one will be on Wednesday, July 9th.